Welcome to Chordwalk, the definitive creation and performing platform for Pro Tools users. Chordwalk enables users to create and perform innovative and compelling rhythms, melodies, and harmonies, interactively and in real time, to compose meaningful and fulfilling music compositions, almost immediately. Chordwalk provides the user with multiple creation areas, a chord selection matrix area, virtual piano and guitar playing areas, and multiple arpeggiator creation areas. Chordwalk will enable users, at all levels of music knowledge and playing ability, to create and perform very complex musical compositions using a DAW, almost immediately, for any musical genre. A revolutionary feature of Chordwalk is the facility to route the MIDI data stream, originated at any individual creation area, to be paired, independently, with individual instrument tracks of a DAW, to play the virtual instrument sounds associated with that virtual instrument track, without the aid of any external MIDI keyboards, sequencers, or drum pads, and independently of a piano roll, or sequencers provided in the DAW. In this short demonstration, we have randomly selected 6 virtual instrument sounds, which we have assigned to 6 independent instrument tracks that we hope will show the features that Chordwalk offers to creators and performers using a DAW. Chordwalk provides a novel visual metronome to inform the user of the exact position of a beat occurring within a specific bar. A time signature drop-down selection menu is provided. In the visual metronome, the first beat, the downbeat, is clearly identified at the start of each bar. The metronome displays a visual beat indicator scrolling across the bar timeline at the selected tempo to advise the exact beat position within a specific bar number in real time. The visual metronome provides the option to synchronize chord selection changes and arpeggio note and pattern changes to occur on a downbeat or the onset of any beat, or to disable beat synchronization. With beat sync enabled, Chordwalk will automatically synchronize chord element selections to occur on the next downbeat. Downbeat synchronization guarantees that the patterns and sequences applied to individual notes in the individual arpeggiator areas are maintained in their correct play order when chord changes occur. The sync to downbeat feature also ensures that all chord changes applied in the chord selection matrix stay on the beat. Using Chordwalk, you just select a chord in the chord selection matrix area from a wide range of musical keys or modes, or key and mode combination, to create chord progressions, and thereafter transform the individual notes of the selected chord, using the arpeggiators, into novel and compelling melodies, harmonies, beats or instrument solos that exhibit rhythm, movement, flow, variety and interest. As a default, Chordwalk presents a piano instrument view with a C major key selected. To move or resize keys, you must firstly unlock the keyboard with the lock keyboard icon. Keys can be resized by moving the slider Resize Keys. Any key position on the piano keyboard image will play the note that corresponds to that key position. Firstly, we will look at configuring the piano keyboard layout. Display double keyboards, one stacked above the other. Chordwalk offers a real-time, fully interactive, fully authentic string instrument playing experience. When the guitar icon is selected, a guitar stringed instrument view is presented. There are two guitar playing options, chords or notes view. Select a chord sector, and the guitar note voicings will be assigned to each string, in the order they would be played by a professional guitarist. The second option for guitar playing is notes selected. With notes selected, all the chords of the selected key, together with their note identifiers, are displayed. The chords for the selected key are displayed in their scale degree positions. You can strum or pick the individual strings to play the assigned notes. An arpeggio takes the individual notes of a chord and arranges them in patterns and sequences, where each note is played or rested individually in rhythmic patterns. You can open a new arpeggio pane by selecting the plus button. Enable the arpeggiators by selecting the Enable button. Note values are the cornerstone of arpeggiation. How you vary and combine note values and note lengths in arpeggiation sequences is what makes a great melody possible. Half notes are 2 beats long, quarter notes occur on every beat. 8 notes are a half a beat long, 2 to a beat. 16th notes are a quarter of 1 beat. 32nd notes are an eighth of 1 beat long, 8 to a beat. Note values can be changed in real time. Set the octave range for the arpeggio. Separately and independently, a note can be held playing for any percentage of its step value play length. The play length of each note can be adjusted using the gate setting. When a chord changes in the chord selection matrix, the notes in the arpeggio also change. The play pattern to be applied to the arpeggio is selected from a drop-down menu. You can pair the MIDI output from an individual arpeggiator independently to one, many, or all virtual instrument tracks of the DAW. You can select one or more virtual instrument track destinations to receive the paired MIDI data stream from the arpeggiator. Transposition generally means shifting the pitch of a note by an interval value. Earlier we played single-pitch arpeggios. The individual notes were played in patterns and sequences within the octave range selected in the arpeggiator. With transposition enabled, you are provided with the option to shift the arpeggio by any interval value over many steps in different patterns, cycles, and sequences. Transposition can simulate playing virtuosity. It adds flair, color, variety, and depth to soloing. You can create more advanced patterns and sequences to individual notes in an arpeggio. You can now create additional note steps with settings, controls, and adjustments that will generate novel patterns and sequences for each individual note of the arpeggio. The notes of the chord will be displayed in their default note order. You can change the note order from the drop-down menu associated with each of the individual note position. The step length, set in the parent arpeggiator, is the default step length in the Advanced Note Settings window. For each additional note step, you can set the note volume, gate, solo, or mute. You can select either piano or guitar note voicing. An indicator is presented to show the note pattern playing. The octave is the only transposition where all notes stay within a single key. When chain mode is selected, the arpeggiator will play the active notes within a note pane before moving to a higher note order position. A note indicator is presented to show note pattern activity. When alternate mode is selected, the arpeggiator will play, in note order value, only one note step within each note pane, in descending order before moving to the next higher note order value. A note indicator is presented to show note pattern activity. When a chord is changed in the chord selection matrix, the notes in the pattern will also change. Earlier, in the arpeggiator section, we showed how individual notes of a chord can be configured in a multiplicity of patterns and orders to add variety and color to rhythm patterns. With chords selected, we take the selected chord notes and play them together in patterns and sequences to add a further layer of variety and color to a composition. Playing chords in differing patterns is very effective when creating melody lines with arpeggios. You can toggle between arpeggios and chord patterns in real time. You can add additional patterns at each step by selecting the plus icon. To create novel chord patterns, add new steps, and set a note value for each step. That generates interesting and compelling rhythmic patterns. Adjust volume, mute and gate settings to add variety and interest to a pattern. We will now examine how to set up some drum beats. Rhythm is based on repeating patterns of notes and silences, with different note emphasis. Notes can vary in pitch, duration, and intensity in repeating patterns. Rhythm can also be generated by varying the number of notes, or rests, played for each beat, or combination of beats. We will solo arpeggiator 2 and pair it with instrument track 2. With Chordwalk, you can quickly and easily set up standard drum patterns, like for on the floor. Here, we will look at developing more complex and compelling patterns that will take you beyond the ordinary. Drums, percussion, and effect sounds are mapped to specific MIDI notes in the lower octave ranges. Chordwalk allows you to quickly and easily configure musical notes to generate very sophisticated and complex order of movement patterns and sequences using virtual digital musical instruments, such as drum, bass, and synth, for advanced beat creation. A silence, known as a rest, can be applied by activating a step and muting it, or by turning its note volume to 0. As the notes associated with drums and percussion are in the lower octave ranges, and are sometimes restricted to a single octave range, it is advisable that transpositions for drums are limited to lower interval value jumps. A facility is provided to lock a selected chord to an arpeggio until it is unlocked. Strong, thumping bass sounds are ubiquitous across all genres of music. By soloing the root note of a chord, or any note, you can generate strong, thumping bass patterns and sequences. A playthrough facility is provided to play the notes of a selected chord, together with the arpeggio notes playing. Playthrough can be enabled or disabled interactively and in real time. A prime option is displayed, which stops the metronome running, and arms it to start with the next chord element selection. This ensures that all chord element selections, and arpeggio notes and patterns, will start playing together, in sync, immediately on the first downbeat of the first bar, and remain in sync for all further chord element selections. The most effective means to enable the independent routing and pairing of MIDI data streams generated in each creation area of the application with specific instrument or MIDI tracks is by using virtual loopback MIDI ports. Loop MIDI provides an inter-application communication method that facilitates MIDI communications between applications running on the same device. We have recorded 6 independent instrument tracks in the DAW. You can now edit an individual track as a MIDI track, or render them individually to an audio track for further editing and arrangement. In this demonstration, we have used Pro Tools Intro, which is a free-to-use entry-level product from Pro Tools. Obviously, Intro has limited the number of instrument tracks, effects and instrument sounds available for your use. You can easily upgrade Pro Tools at different price levels to get access to more sophisticated instrument sounds and effects across a broader range of musical genres. The Chordwalk Music Theory course and our Creator's Guide are accessible online from the link shown at the end. How to set up Pro Tools with Chordwalk is fully explained in the Creator's Guide. Good luck with your creation efforts and thank you for watching this short demo. Register with us now.